Got it.
Hello, Angela. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine too, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
Thank you for interviewing me. This is fun.
Yeah, and friends, we have Angela here. She is the founder of Resource Therapy, located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and is the leading hypnotherapist and mindset coach in the Twin Cities area. Angela is dedicated to helping people struggling with the symptoms of depression and anxiety. She has taught thousands of people all over the world how to silence that inner critical voice that tells us you're not good enough. One of the topics we are going to discuss around it as well. Her passion for work was sparked with her own struggles with depression and self-doubt with her youth. It sent her on a journey of education and self-discovery where she studied hypnotherapy, therapeutic coaching, Neuro-Linguistic Psychology. Angela is passionate about constantly continuing her education and learning new skills and techniques to help better serve her clients. Angela is the author of Today I Promise, a journal of self discovery. Inside this unique self discovery journal, you will find the tips and inspirations to help you take the first steps down the road of understanding yourself through thought provoking writing prompts and created exercises. You will gain meaningful introspection as you explore your emotions, examine your relationships, define your values, passions, and dreams, and embrace the ability of loving yourself. So that's Angela for us. So let us know more about her from her own words. So, Angela, how did your journey into hypnosis start?
Well, it's actually going to school for psychology first.
Okay.
That's what I was starting with. And I had a really awesome teacher who said, that they wanted us to interview other psychologists, psychiatrists, so that we got a better idea of the field. And then we had to do something really fun. We had to study another modality of healing, and it cannot be in the brand of psychology. So it had to be something maybe, and we were either be pro or con. And I picked hypnosis, and I actually was going to be con in the beginning because I did not believe that all I knew about hypnosis at that time was what you saw on TV, right? Cluck like a chicken, bark like a dog, be silly. And I was like, there's no way that these people are really hypnotized. They're just being silly. That's what I really thought. And so I went to a seminar, and in this seminar, they said, who doesn't believe in hypnosis? And I was like, me, this is all polycocky. And they said, okay, come on up. And so they put me under, and they brought me back to one of my favorite memories, which is on my honeymoon. And I had literally tears running down my face when I woke up because I was so happy, and I had a smile from cheek to cheek. And everybody was like, oh my God, you love your husband so much. And I was like, yeah, I do. Why? And they're like, you just told us about your honeymoon and how much you loved him and how you were, sunbathing in the ocean, holding his hand, and you were just so happy. And I was like, I did? And then they showed me the videotape, and I got to see it, and they gave me the cue to remember. And then I remembered, and I was like, that felt so real to me. Like I felt like I was there. And if you could do that, just give me one happy memory. What else can you do? And that just started the choo-choo train of like, okay, I need to know more. Yeah. So then I started going to learn about hypnotherapy, and I found a wonderful institute, and I studied there for 4 years, and it was just phenomenal. And then I go to classes every year. Something I practice in Reiki. I also study body language. It's just something I'm a continuous learner. So that's something that I personally do. And we have to do it for our CEUs. We have to keep our education up, but I find the mind so curious how we can just change everything around us just with our thoughts.
Wonderful. Such a beautiful journey you had from a wonderful experience. It all
Yes.
Awesome. And you have named your institute or your brand name as Resource Therapy. So what inspired you? What's the background about it, Angela?
So I was in business class and they were talking about, you should have a brand name. You got to come up with something that's kind of your niche. And I was just like, well, I don't know. But what came up for me is like, I believe that inside of us, we have the resources. We all have resources to heal our bodies, to heal our mind, to live the life that we've always desired. We all have it. Sometimes it's locked away and we just need somebody else to help us. And one of the things I believe more than anything is that, a lot of times, and if you've experienced going to see a therapist at all, a lot of times, a lot of my clients that come to me, they've been seeing a therapist for years and years. And they're like, it helped for a while and then it didn't, and it helped for a while, or they're like, it really helped, or it didn't help at all. Right. So we have all these things. But the one thing that was in common is that they want to see you forever for the rest of your life. Right. That's kind of how it is. And that's great for some people. That I'm not bashing that at all, because I think that for some people that's perfect and they need that. But for me, I personally want to teach you the resources. I want to teach you how to do it so you don't need me, so that you can go, okay, I have this tool or this skill, or I can listen to this recording, or I can practice this technique and I can do it myself. I think that's where I came up with. I want you to have that resource that's already inside of you, and then you can just access it,
Beautiful. Such a thoughtful idea behind your brand. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And many people have, they say that there is this inner critic. It could be relationship, it could be business, it could be anything in life. So does hypnosis help people to tame this inner critic?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I use hypnosis and coaching. I teach them two different skills, and they kind of combine together. But hypnosis, the amazing thing about hypnosis is that it bypasses that critical part of your mind. And, one of the things I do is my first session is about an hour long. It's no hypnosis. It's just you and I talking, and I ask you tons of questions so I can better understand who you are as a person, why you think the way you think, who in your life kind of gave you some of these things, and the judgments you have about yourself. And then together, you and I decide what you would rather believe, what you would rather think, feel. And we do that. We use your language right within hypnosis. So your unconscious mind goes, hey, I would like that. And then it just accepts it. It's kind of like, where if you say to someone, they say, well, you have to, if you want to lose weight, you have to have a good attitude and love your body in right now. Right. Well, could you go to the mirror right away when, say, you're 200 pounds and go, I'm skinny? You can't, right? Because your eyes go, no, you're not. But hypnosis goes right over that, no, you're not, and plants that seed right there for you. That is the wonderful thing. And then I give you techniques to use when you're conscious. And then you also listen to recordings so that you constantly have that being within your subconscious mind over and over again. So your brain kind of goes, yeah, this is the path. This is where we're going. This is what we want.
And you have helped thousands of people to get out of this limiting belief, I'm not good enough.
Yes.
In fact, I feel, Angela, every one of us at one stage feel this.
Of course.
Different phases. So what are the main reasons to have this belief? Let's do the anatomy of this belief.
Well, I think I found in the 8 years of my practice is that it's individual, right? So sometimes, the first thing I ask questions of my clients is that, whose voice is that? Because if you actually listen and you pay attention, it might be your mom's voice you're hearing. There might be it sounds a little bit different, right? Or it might be your father's, or a teacher who told you you're not good enough, or a boss. The voice is different than your voice. It sounds just a little bit different. And that's why it kind of feels icky to you and feels wrong, And I think that we will play that one thing that was said to us, that one thing, and we play it over and over again. And we all know this now, right? What you think about, you bring about. So the more you think it, the more it becomes your reality. And then you see it everywhere. It's kind of like when you buy a new car, or you're thinking about buying a new car, and then you go and you're out and you see that car you want. You just, oh, there it is again. Oh, there it is again. That's kind of what your brain does. On the other side, of the negative side, it says, if you had a boss tell you like, you'll never amount to anything, well, then you play that over and over again, right? And so then your unconscious mind looks for ways that you'll never amount to anything and fulfills that for you. So it's my job and other jobs, a hypnotherapist, therapists, to teach people how to stop that. Because I think that, I specifically work with a lot of people with childhood trauma, a lot of abuse, sexual abuse, things like that. And it was beaten into them both physically and mentally over and over again, repeated to them, and to the point where they were beaten down to be so small. And so we've got to little by little build them back up and teach them about boundaries and teach them how to that was somebody else's perspective. It's not the truth.
Awesome. And you also have authored a book.
Yes.
Today I Promise. Interesting title. Today and Promise and I. So bits and pieces, it makes more sense of what is the message you want to convey to the people through your book, and whom did you write this book for?
Well, here it is. I actually thought about
can you
my.
please hold on?
Yes,
Yeah,
of
a little,
course.
yeah.
And I'll send you the link so you have it. But it's actually a guided journal. So I came up with the idea actually because of one of my clients. So I had a client that I helped a couple years ago, and this is during the pandemic. So I helped her, and she's been great, and living her life. And she emailed me and she said, I have this friend who's really struggling right now. She really needs some help. Can you email me some of the amazing questions you used to send me? Because part of what I do is, I'll send them journaling questions, or I'll give them specific homework or techniques to do on their own at home. And I was like, yeah, I could send that. She's like, I actually miss that. I miss those questions because I always felt like I was always working on myself. And I was like, And when the pandemic hit and I couldn't have people in my office for a while, I had nothing to do. So I started writing my book, and I was like, this is the perfect time, right? It was just like the stars aligned. And I was like, I'm going to focus here now because, sometimes things just happen. You have to roll with it, right? And so the reason I called it Today I Promise is because in the very beginning, I'll read it to you. It says, today I promise to just be honest with myself. I will write my truth as best as I can, and I will try my best not to judge myself for the answers I write. This will be my first step towards knowing myself and accepting myself as I am. And then I ask them to sign the bottom right there so that they do that. And then there's it's filled with lots of introspective questions to get them to think. And there's techniques in there as well to help them do on their own, where they want to, if they feel something, they need to work through it. It's just like the first step of what I have my clients do when they're in my offices or out.
Beautiful. And one last question, I promise, Angela. How do you recharge yourself? Like sometimes you might be exhausted as a therapist, seeing clients, and also this question is for all the coaches and therapists also. Your advice, and how do you self-care?
Yeah. Well, I would say I have two things. As you see, you just saw animals come through. I'm a huge animal lover. I have a cat, 2 dogs, and a ferret. So that's the first way, because they give unconditional love, right? There's something, and they know when your heart is hurting, and they just come and they sit with you. So that's probably the first way. Okay. The other way is water. I am a big fan of connecting with water. Water is a conduit to help us get to the unconscious mind, to help to get to our intuition and our third eye. So I wish I had a bigger tub, but I go in my tub and I have lavender and I have candles, and then I will play some beautiful music. And I actually will go under the water to the point of where just my nose is sticking out, and I will just breathe and just be in the silence. Just be in that peaceful moment and let everything else kind of just wash away. And it just like the world just washes away. And I actually have in my book a technique where you can use your shower to wash away the day, just to like whatever was said to you, whatever was done, just rinse it off, shake it off. And then you come out clean and ready for a wonderful night of dreaming of possibilities.
Wow. So your secret is no more a secret now. It's out.
Yeah, it's out. It's not really a secret because, I was just recently on a cruise, and the best thing I liked about the cruise actually was I booked a suite, and they had a huge tub in there, and I spent every night, probably 2 hours in that tub. I ordered room service, and I sat in my tub and ate room service because I was like, I'm in heaven. You're going to have to like escort me off the boat, because it's heaven within the water and just relaxing.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Angela. Especially 2 things I liked is like you are doing amazing job helping people to change this major limiting belief that I'm not good enough. And thank you for a beautiful gift. That is today I promise, the book which evolved, because it is that too in the pandemic when many people have gone low, you have
Yes.
utilized the time to gift something out of you. Such a
Yeah.
beautiful.
I mean, I think that's what the pandemic taught us though, right? Like it was horrible and nobody really liked it, but there was just a silver lining, wasn't there? Because we all slowed down, we all connected with the family, and we were reminded what's truly important in our lives, right? That
Yes.
was the blessing, I feel, at least for me, of the pandemic. Was it hard in other ways? Of course. But I think that if you can remember that life happens for you and not to you, and that even in the worst of times, and and I can say this, where my business went from like being constantly busy to no one because you can't come into my office and Minnesota was shut down. I was like, what am I going to do? But there was good things. We had more family dinners and family game nights, and we goofed around and we connected and we did family chats, kind of like we're doing right now via Zoom. There were so many good things that happened about it as well. And I think that when you go through life, if you can try to find that lining or the lesson, you will be much happier in life.
Beautiful. And I think the same applies in any challenges also. Given any challenge, how we utilize it, whether we are reacting or responding. Nah,
Right.
well said. Even in such situation, a book can evolve. So you have proved it.
Yeah. I mean, I had nothing to do and started writing, and actually starting this is done. And then my daughter actually came up with the idea for this one because I make a lot of my clients actually track their journals or their dreams. And they always want to come and be like, what does this mean? But they sometimes can't remember. So just put together a little dream journal for my clients as well. This one is on Amazon, but I usually just give it to clients so that they can track their journals.
So this dream journal is to record their dreams, or is this to
Yeah.
understand their dreams, Angela?
So it says in here, if you kind of see, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So it says what happened. And then on the side of it, it'll say, what were your emotions? Who are the people in my dreams? Is this a recurring dream or not? Because it's really important, because if it's recurring, your unconscious mind is really trying to tell you something. It's trying to say, hey, this is happening in your world, and either you like it or you don't like it, right? And then it's your sleep quality. Did you actually sleep really well? Was it a great dream where you were sunk in, or was it where you were turning around a lot, right? And then the last thing, it says my interpretation or my final thoughts. Is there the lesson to learn, and what would that lesson be? And I tell my clients, this is what I say. I want you to keep a pen and paper right by your book. Like I said, put the pen inside their book. And so if they wake up and they're like, before they have a glass of water, before they check that Facebook, open it up and write down whatever they can remember, and then go brush your teeth and do everything else. And then you'll find that because you did that in such a nonchalant way, your mind remembers more things when you start to do an automatic thing like brushing your teeth. And then you go, oh yeah, this happened. And then you can write more. And it's eye-opening, because I've had clients come back to me and go like, I dreamt this dream 3 times in a row, and then they stop, right? And then they come back a month later and they're like, I had that dream again. I had this dream again. And they can see the similarities and the lesson that they've been learning over the dreams, and within their lives, and making that alignment in there. And they're like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what my mind's trying to tell me. My heart's trying to tell me. It's interesting.
So this journal also happened in the pandemic itself? Or
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to one of the persons who has utilized the pandemic time as well to the most.
Yeah. I mean, I had lots of time, because I usually, one of the ways I'm very different than, a lot of other probably hypnotists or hypnotherapists or therapists is that me, myself, when I was getting some help for myself, it always bothered me that we'd talk and then they'd be like, that's an hour. Thank you. Put a pin in it for next week. I hated it. So one of the things that I do for my clients is I say, I do charge by the hour, but if you have a place to go or you have a budget to be on, then I want you to set your own alarm of when you're done, because I will never tell you your time is up. I have had sessions go 6 hours before, because somebody was working through something, like really bad childhood trauma. We're getting through it and we're healing it. And then they come out the other side and it's the most powerful session ever. I never want to stop someone and make them feel that they have to wait to tell me their story. I want to be open and I want to be ready for whatever their story is, as long as it takes them, and be there for them and hold that space,
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you, Angela. It was beautiful talking to you, and especially now again, this was unexpected to know about your dream journal as well. So I would request that please make it available over Amazon as well. Maybe people would benefit along with this today, I promise. And today I
Yeah.
dream as well. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually on Amazon. I actually just I don't tell people because I don't sell it. I just put it on there just in case people want it. And I was surprised. I've had a lot of people actually buy it. And I'm like,
Well,
I just created it for my clients. So
nice.
added bonus, right?
Yes. Thank you, Angela, once again for your wonderful time.
Thank you so much.